Hello, everyone. Continuing in the series of answering the questions, the important questions that may come in the examinations. In this video, we will try to cover the second part of the answers, which for 5 marks. So earlier we have covered 1 to 5 questions. Now it's 6 to 10 questions. If you do not want to hear to the audio background or audio feed, you can just mute it and look into the answers. I'm just trying to give a high level on the answers that are going to come up. So we'll start with the first question. So what are the objectives of teaching environment education? Explain in brief. So as you can see, I've just listed some more than 10 points to justify this answer or to elaborate this answer. Students can give at least 5 to 6 or 6 to 7 points, whichever are easy for them to remember, as this is a 5 marks question basically. So what is the objective of environment education? So why is environment education taught for teachers or for students? It's basically to, it's a very generic question. So you have to protect our environment. To protect our environment, the basic need is education. So how you educate people on protecting the environment, on limiting wastages and optimal utilization of the resources. So this all knowledge and this all understanding comes with educating people about environment. So you can see the points like, to enlighten people of physical components of environment, what limited resource we are having and how to, make optimum usage of it without wastages, to develop skills in new generation to preserve environment, how to preserve it, how to participate in resolution of environment problems, or to alert the students and people about the consequences of human action on the environment, both on man himself and other forms of life. To inform them about their dependency on the environment resource, that it is limited and has to be used in a proper way, wastages, pollution, waste discharge, effluents, global warming, most of climate change, all these problems can be dealt in a better way if everyone or every citizen or every human being is aware of that. And how to do that, bring that into curriculum. The objective of teaching environment education is basically to make everyone aware and understanding of the issues related to environment, and and how to educate people to be more resourceful and protective about what we have. Going to the next question. What is a greenhouse effect? What measures should we take to protect ourselves from it? Many of you might have seen this greenhouse rapidly coming up in the farms, right? There is a plastic dome type of thing, as you see in the image here. This is done because, basically greenhouses are very, very good source of, you know, nutrition and they give a very good condition for the plants to grow. That's the reason they come up with this, because the most of the gases and sun rays is captured inside that, and photosynthesis is more actively done, and it triggers, acts like a catalyst. But when you think this on a larger scale towards the earth, if earth becomes, so basically inside that greenhouse or a glass house, what we call, the temperatures are more than what is outside it. So imagine if the whole earth becomes like a greenhouse, and as we know that earth's temperature is neither too hot, neither too cold for human habitation. It's correct and apt. So when these kind of effects start happening, there are consequences. The temperature becomes increasing inside the globe. The radiations get trapped, and when the radiations get trapped, the phenomenon of global warming has started, and because of the ice caps are melting, the snow caps are melting, and the water level in the seas is going up, and there are many, it's a domino effects, and so many things are coming up. So you can write about that. So, and how to, what measures should we take to protect this? So we can have, industrial effluents, or can be reduced from like smoke from the chimneys. They have to be reduced or treated properly. Afforestation, because plants actually naturally they are very good cleansers of environment. They clean up a lot of gases with the kind of oxygen they generate, right? And they feed on nitrogen and also carbon dioxide that they can absorb most of it. And so a lot of greenery and forest has to be developed, and uh, the car automobile greener energy and efficient energy should be utilized. So we can write about that in this answers. You can take a look. Going to the next question. How do you develop environment awareness in the students? So if in a school system, so if you had to develop awareness of students, how do we do it? We can see that there are so many schools that have environment clubs. They conduct debates on topics which are related to environment. They do science exhibitions. They promote students to not to use plastics. They try to bring up consequences. There is at least one day planned as an environment day in school, wherein students are encouraged to come up with the charts, banners, and ideas, or drawing competitions. Small steps to make student understand and be aware of environment, and to teach students learn about renewable energy, the usage of it, and also having it in the curriculum helps it, because student do take seriously whatever is there in the curriculum. And influencing students about using public transportations, carpooling, limiting usage of more more vehicles, if they can just be dependent on one or two means of transportation rather than abundantly using others, and making sure that to the students that the resource that we're having are limited and have to be shared and have to be protected for the going generations. So these all can be discussed in this answer. Write a short notes on Agenda 21 UNESCO. So basically, Agenda 21 UNESCO is an outcome of the Rio Declaration, which was held in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil in 1992. This was a conference which was which 178 or more countries participated, and it was facilitated by the United Nations. And the outcome was basically this Agenda 21 is a kind of an action plan wherein there are what has to be done, whether it is locally or nationally or each participating countries, to look at the impact of humans on the environment, and how whether it is developing or underdeveloped or developed countries can take their ownership and work upon some blueprint or action plan on how to reduce their carbon emissions. So what Agenda 21 can be, the convention's principles and declaration of the Earth Summit provide guidelines to deal with problems of poverty, hunger, resource consumption, and deterioration of ecosystems. Agenda 21 provides a format. Early, you can see that it's a blueprint of sustainability in 21st century, provides option of combating the deterioration of land, air, and water, deals with poverty, overconsumption, health, and education. It highlights the need to eradicate poverty. One of the major problems facing poorer nations is the lack of resources and the ability to live sustainably. So the more emphasis on a sustained development, right? Sustainable development, wherein you are sustaining the earth. We are not totally, over uh, extracting the natural ecosystem, and you're trying to maintain a balance between what is to be used from the natural resources and how it has to maintain for the going forward generations. Next, explain the factors of environment degradation. So what basically the answer is very common. Basically environment education is a very common and a subject that everyone is aware of subconsciously, if not consciously. So the factors for environmental degradation, you know, right? Like there's a lot of factors which, like, if you have to count on your fingers, it's like population increase has added to a lot of population increase has directly contributed. I mean, you know, with number of people increase, they need resources, they need food, they need water, but we have only this much in nature, right? Excuse me. So what happens is, as your population grows, your natural resources will not grow proportionately, right? So they will be always whatever the percentage they are. So this will increase the degradation, because a lot of construction will be carried, a lot of wood and forest will be deforested, lot of supply, so a lot of demand will rise for food, energy, industries, clothing and all, and this will take a toll on the environment. And so broadly we can classify as social factors, economic factors and environmental factors. The social factors include population, poverty and urbanization. Population, as in I have just mentioned, poverty as in because there's a lack of education and they don't know how to properly, utilize the environment, and urbanization because there is to come the new cities, concrete jungles are coming up, and they are coming up in places where there used to be forests and all. Economic factors like market failure. If you have a dysfunctional market, environment goods measure, there will be environmental degradation, there will be economic development. If you have to do impact of agricultural development, transport activities, political administration factors. In the environmental factors, we have these are natural things like acid rains, destruction of ozone layer, air, water pollution, etc. Okay, thank you for staying with me for this session, and looking forward to the next set of answers very soon. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned.